So there's two chimneys, chimney A, slightly smaller, 1971, and chimney B, slightly bigger and fatter, 1978.
There's something lovely about remnants of things. It's like ruins. Ruins are important because you have to imagine what was there. You're not told the whole story, so everybody imagines something different. There's some component there which has the sense of a ruin in the making.
Many people will go through their lives without thinking about architecture very much at all. It has this sort of subliminal presence at a point at the edge of our lives, which is just beneath a lot of our conscious experience. I came across this lovely old text by St. Bernard of Clairvaux, where he was describing a church. He said that it was an oak house with all the boards properly bound together. It described the cohesion of the worshipping community. The sense of the community coming together to pray is absolutely central to their vocation, and we want to make a space that feels prayerful. I thought it would be interesting to make a room within the room, a freestanding oak structure which would create the sacred space. The light is lifting your soul up in some way. It's lifting you towards forms of internal and meditative thinking.
So many buildings are built where the general public are on the outside. They have no permission to enter. This is a building with its arms open, saying, come into this building for all the hours that it's open, you are welcome. Every citizen can sit in a beautiful Georgian room, free of charge, enjoy the south light.
You come through this wall of wonderful rooms, and then you come into this, what we called an internal civic space. You have ground-based lending library, and sort of floating in the air above you are all of the other suites. And between these raised volumes, you have light coming from the sky. And at the top of these raised platforms, there are gardens and terraces.
A roof garden on the top of Georgian buildings, looking down over the square, looking down over O'Connell Street, over to the Dublin Mountains, facing south. It is just going to be absolutely gorgeous.
I think if you arrive outside, approaching from the north, you'll find quite a forbidding structure. It's quite monochromatic, for one thing. The materials are mostly kind of grey limestone. So it is quite symmetrical, it's quite uniform, and some of the surfaces are quite austere and flat. But then you come in the door and you make your way through a little vestibule where I'm sitting here, and then you swing a left to the east. And then this just wonderfully rich interior. And I think it is that contrast that is such an exciting thing. Francis Johnston, who was the architect of the building, he described it and said that the exterior is quite austere, quite simple, but the interior very rich. He uses the word rich a lot. Johnston, I think, was conscious that he might be able to eschew the typical formula of rather austere Anglican chapel, rather simple building, and go for something a little more elaborate, and he certainly went for it when he designed this place.
I think all cities are like, they're like a geography. They're just like a field or a mountain range. You come to build something on them, and you have to place it in some way in it, with the furrow of it, or maybe against the furrow of it. It doesn't matter, you just have to do something that understands the place that you're in. We worked on Temple Bar Gallery and Studios, and it was an old factory that we wrapped a new building around, but that became a kind of a plinth on which we put an extra story made of metal of Artist Studios. It was an enlivening thing on the roofscape of the city. There were people up there. The plan of it from the air is actually a Juan Gris painting. It was meant to celebrate that, get people up there and out, and balconies looking out over the city.
This feature is brought to you by Creative Ireland, in partnership with RTE supporting the arts. Supporting artists, supporting us.